think that alarm horn is a warning, as we're about to enter the dark and deadly cafe. Let's get in there. Let's sip into the darkness. Sip into the darkness. As soon as you enter, get a nice bouquet of dead flowers. Cool looking fireplace. Look at this guy. This is Pete. This is Pete of the Deadly Grounds, Dark and Deadly Cafe. We got some skeletons bathing right here in this bowl. We got a cool little stand-up Freddy here. I want that. It's wicked. Come in for a bite. We got a Reaper over here. That's pretty cool. Elm Street sign. We got a cool Nightmare on Elm Street poster right there. Get that. You know, I love my Freddy. Check this out. I already got myself a Jeepers Creepers latte. It's got toasted marshmallow, chocolate, whipped cream. I'm gonna go for the classic coffee test right now. Get things started. A Jeepers Creepers latte. Let's go. Oh God, that packs a punch. That's a pretty cool sign right there. I like that for my wall. Still gotta do some Friday the 13th filming locations in New Jersey there. And California. Hell of a latte here. Look at this, one of Negan's bats. As I've said before, this is made by a guy who lives just around the corner from me, from Intense Effects, Joseph. And this is one of the bats. As I said, he invented Negan's bat. Maybe not the whole idea, but he's Team Negan. This is one of the bats made for The Walking Dead. Pretty cool. You can buy it. $500. $500. Lucille right there. Lucille. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Not only is it Negan's bat right there, but we also have a face hugger. Aliens here. It's also got some autographs. Bishop's autograph right there. Just take a look around this place. It's going to be quite the experience. And then we're also going to go check out the Heritage Museum here in Carleton Place. After my Jeepers Creepers latte. Take this opportunity to sign the Book of Death. That's right. Mr. Thrasha was here. I'll put the Rock On logo and I'll sign it. Oop, pen's dying. Johnny Thrasha. This one over here is pretty demonic. Riding the horse. The dead horse. The dead horse. We got an Evil Dead Rise poster over here. That's pretty cool. Look at this little fireplace down here. Isn't that cute? Cute and gothic. Got a crow. Check this one. This is my favorite one right here. It's Michael Myers carpet. I'll cover my whole house in this shit. Just like that. The original OG right there. Nick Castle, Michael Myers. We got a Friday the 13th final chapter carpet art here. Man, this is awesome. Imagine your whole house draped in this stuff. Yeah, theming is on point here. We got a severed head. There's art all over this place.
And I said, these are really nice. And the lady said, she said, well, you know, some of the best, I didn't know what it's called. She goes, some of the best hookers are men. and I paused and I went, what? And she realized, what? She goes, I don't mean it that way, you idiot. It's called hooking.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. It's a cool, that's a cool picture of Freddy there. It's good art. I like that Jason thing on the wall there. Love the Freddy representation. We got Captain Spaulding. Rest in peace to Sid Haig. Tons to see here. Sipping into the darkness. Michael. OG Michael. After being shot in both eyes by Laurie Strode. Look at this thing. It's Halloween. 365, 24/7 in this place. Look at that. Pretty cool. Terrifying, terrifying. This is really cool. Oh, look, he's got his horn. He's got his horn. And it says Elm Street up here. Referencing all my favorite horror movies. Pennywise up there with the balloon. Look at that. The 4 OGs right there. Jason, Michael, Leatherface, and Freddy. Jack Torrance. Red rum. Red rum. Wow. Look at a setup. It's a Saw bathroom. Saw bathroom. Deadly Grounds, #1 coffee shop. I would give anything for my bathroom at home to look just like this. I'm not even the biggest Saw fan, but a whole Saw themed bathroom, pretty cool. I mean, we got the whole clan here. Chucky, Jason, Freddy, Ghostface, The Nun, OG Michael Myers, Pennywise. It's just like Saw in here. Hello, my audience. I want to play a game. Oh my god, there's the doctor's leg. The doctor's leg right there. And the trike. Oh my god. Severed head down here. Someone left their baby's head on the baby changing table. May I? Pretty wicked. You can even come here and purchase some voodoo stuff. Candles, statues, and little trinkets. Mugs. Got some ties here with Jason and Freddy. Oh, look at these. These are earrings. You got Jason, Michael Myers, and Chucky earrings. Pretty cool. One's from Saw, Annabelle. You got Freddy down there. You can get socks. All the slasher OGs on them. Wristbands. I like that Halloween wristband right there. Did you buy some bones and stuff? Or an action figure? Pretty cool. Little doggy here. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Who's a good boy? Spalding. Myers. Never Say Die. It's like the Black Sabbath song. Huh. Some profanity. Look at these. Almost look like little salt and pepper shakers. Little statues. Very cool. Little fragile oddities here. I love places like this. Look at these keychains. Severed limb and digit. Severed digit keychains. Those are cool. You got Scooby-Doo up there. Very neat. Owners of the Deadly Grounds Cafe right there, the Dark and Deadly, with Jason Voorhees behind them. This guy got a skeleton up there. I saw him in the front window when I arrived. Look at him, just hanging around out there. We got this guy who, it's an animatronic, probably comes to life if plugged in. This guy down here hiding between his legs. A little bit of cacti here. Yes. Pretty neat. I like the casket, coffin-shaped menu here. Funeral sandwiches. Look at this. You get donuts. A donut with bite. A donut with a little bite. Also get butter tarts. There's all kinds of delicacies here. Freddy 16 ounce. A small Chucky. Ooh, a Stay Puffed. Jason latte, yeah. I just went with the Jeepers Creepers. Pretty good. I approve. I approve of the entire place. Lots going on in here. Alright, we better head over to the Carleton Place Heritage Museum before it closes on us. More interesting things to see up the road. I love this coffee. Look at this bird cage up here too. That's pretty cool. I love the lighting. Wow, this place is doing some business too. Doing some business. There's been people coming in constantly since I got here, so Come check this out in Carleton Place. Look, the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man. Got all kinds of dark and deadly grounds. Deadly grounds. Poison apple. Have a bite. Sinister sodas. Sinister sodas. And poison apples. And toothy donuts. Toothy donuts. Final look before we head off at the front entryway here. Front windows. Ghostface. Jason. Look at this little eyeball here. Looking at you. It's looking at you. Ooh. Some idiot's car horn's been going off for like half hour here. Check this out. This pig cooker. This pink pig cooker. Its eyelashes. That's neat. Now there's something you don't see every day. Turn your horn off. Arrived here at the Carleton Place Heritage Museum. They got a whole art gallery on the outside of this historical building, which was once a school. It was opened as the town hall once upon a time in the 1800s, and then it was a school hall and is now the Beckwith and Carleton Place Heritage Museum. Alright, so let's gain entry here to the Carleton Place and Beckwith Heritage Museum. Here's the building from the front side. Very cool looking building. A lot of history. They got some pretty neat exhibits and artifacts, so let's check it out. As I mentioned, first town hall right here. Commodious stone building, finished with the public hall and the several offices incident to carrying on the village government. 1880. Incorporated as a village in 1870, Carleton Place. So this was the town hall in the 1800s. Like I said, then a schoolhouse. It is open. Designated heritage property. Upon walking up to this old relic, I thought it was a typewriter, but it's actually a cash register. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. You got some pins and stuff in here. Lots of interesting stuff to look at in here, so let's get started. Lots of art you can check out in here. Very neat. Check it out. We're gonna learn about some Carleton Place history. Old maps of Carleton Place, also known as Beckwith. Thought Beckwith was a different town, but in this old rocking horse. Wow. Look at that. This rocking horse was used by generations of children in the Brown family, covered with deer skin. The hide has shrunk over time, revealing the straw stuffing underneath. We've got Gilmore Hardware over here, shoe repairing, and handmade work boots. You hear my boots on this old wooden floor. This building is very old. Pretty neat. Check this out. Got these old shoes. Look at those little bitty shoes. White-O. Tana cream. As you know, I love looking at stuff like this. Museum season rolls on here on the Mr. Thrasha Show. Got kind of like a horror museum. And now a little heritage museum. Look at these little shoes. These all belong to people at some point. These shoes could talk. There's the Bell Block on Bridge Street in the late 1980s. Very neat. Let them romp on carefree. Pussyfoots. Other things to look at over here. Look at this old thing. Wow, formerly a cobbler's apprentice, Dr. William Skull invented foot easers to fit any foot and any shoe, to bridge the weight of the body, taking away the pressure and friction that causes calluses and forward sliding. Yeah, could use one of those myself. Look at these old, his old boot polish there. The Atlantic rubber. Very interesting. They got some old organ music going on in here as well. I love old signage and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Am I saying that too much? Pretty cool? You don't want to say pretty cool too many times. Suede powder. Stanzel Brothers. There's a few things to see in here. This is an old cigarette case right here on the left, carried by Horace Brown in World War I. Has a push-button clasp and is formed to fit a soldier's pocket. We see a tinder lighter given to Horace Brown at Christmas in 1914. Interesting. And here is a little tiny Bible. This leather-bound Bible was given to Horace by his mother. She wrote, "The Lord bless thee and keep thee." So John Horace Brown, seen there at the back, sorry about the glare. John Horace Brown, 1896 to 1919, was named after his grandfather Brown, part owner of the Bolton Brown Flour Mill here in Carleton Place. In World War I, he enlisted in the militia at the age of 18 and arrived in France as a non-commissioned officer. He was wounded twice but survived the armistice, only to die in England of influenza. The Morton Brown family right there in 1908. Wow, they got this old organ over here, which you can hear. I wonder if this actually works. Still got my Jeepers Creepers coffee here from the Dark and Deadly. These are from churches here in Carleton Place. A lot of legendary churches. That one in the top left picture up there. Hard to see, but that was actually used in Fat Man as well. This is old net dress sewn into the hem to maintain the shape of the dress. It was discovered in the attic at Barker's Funeral Home on MacArthur Avenue here in Carleton Place, 1917. Over here's a whole health section here. So, examples of things you would find in a drugstore, of course. Some old medicine bottles, some tonic. Old Wilson's drugstore bottles. This is a nurse, Hazel Schwartfeger. Died the year I was born in 1988. Well, this is kind of like an example. Tariff seems to be the subject lately in the world between Canada and the U.S. Ottawa Valley Medical and Surgical Association. Some doctor's notes and stuff here. Lots of stuff in here. Look at all these. Blue ointment, poison. And we got some castor oil in there. Got J.A. McEwen's, Dr. J.A. McEwen's old doctor bag right there. Wow, look at that. Got some mineral oil. We got all kinds of stuff down here. Different tools of the trade. If you worked in the medical field way back when. That old Rexall package. I think that's something that you would urinate in if you're in a hospital hospital bed. Camp coffee with hickory. Interesting. I love museum season. Dr. Gray's disease preventative. Interesting. Look at this thing. 3 Little Pigs liquid latex. So interesting. So interesting. Look at that old thing of Johnson's baby powder. So much to go over in here. You guys should come check this out if you like museums. Carleton Place has a lot of history. For me, obviously the town where they filmed Fat Man. It was really cool earlier to get to talk to one of the elves, one of the ladies who owns the Dark and Deadly Cafe, or Deadly Grounds Cafe, that we were just at, was in the film in the film Fat Man. Is one of the elves. There's the old post office right there, used in the film Fat Man. Mel Gibson gets his letters. That's where his post office box was in the film, as Carleton Place here stood in as Alaska. Look at all these artifacts and stuff in here. Ooh. Moving on here in the museum, lots to check out on this side. From logs to lumber, the sawmills of Abner Nichols. He was born in Kemptville, Ontario in 1835. Trained as a wheelwright, he moved to Carleton Place in 1867, and his wife Elizabeth McNeely Nichols worked at the Gillies and McLaren sawmill as a sawyer until 1879. Wow, look at these saws. Put a snowflake down there. I love looking at old tools of the trade. From logs to lumber. Yeah, that thing is crazy. This hop hornbeam log right here was saved from a log building once located at 119 Bell Street. Originally thought to have been built in the 1880s on land first deeded by John Murphy in 1837. A tight-knit community. The old wooden mill there. Actually, if you were wondering what this is, this thing here is a corn sheller. Invented as early as 1815, an iron corn sheller sped up the process of stripping kernels from the cob. The spiked disc is turned by a hand crank, shelled by kernels dropped into the container, and the empty cob is tossed aside. Would you look at that? The MacArthur whiskey still. This is neat. That's a cool little setup here. Little whiskey barrels there, jugs. I like that. Ever so cute. James MacArthur died in 1836, emigrated from Comrie, Scotland in 1818, and began operating a distillery at his Beckwith property in the late 1820s. As museum season rolls on here, these are from the Mississippi Hotel on Bridge Street, which is supposedly haunted. That's from the Queen's Hotel. An old door here. Also from the hotel. Men who come here for lodging must not enter the beds with their clothes on or wash their clothing at boiler or interfere with the fire alarm system. They will suffer a penalty. From Mississippi Hotel. Supposedly haunted Queen's Hotel. Carleton Place baggage room. Actually, love the sound of the creaking beneath my feet. That's where the train used to come through town, over the bridge. That's why it's called Bridge Street over there. Wow, look at these old cases, this old trunk. Got some old lanterns here. Carleton Place Station. That's what this depicts, this model right here. Where the train would roll through town. Important junction town, where two railway lines crossed. Many immigrants heading west came through Carleton Place. All right, we enter the final section here. Final section of the museum. Really cool setup. This is more homestead living and stuff. Finley stoves. Wow, the old Finley stoves. Wow, look at these. These are interesting. Got the whole setup over here. Plant of Finley's Limited at Carleton Place, Ontario. That's a nice looking stove. Cast iron pans. The old Finley oval. Yeah, I love old stuff like this. Got a line here with some socks, stuff hanging. The size of this wheel. This wheel back here. Riverside bowling lanes. As I said, this was an old schoolhouse at one time. And this is what the desks used to be like. You see, you'd work like here, where you see this apple and these books. And you'd sit there and work on the person in front of you's, the desk on the back of their chair. See how that works? Interesting. So these are actual desks from when this was a schoolhouse way back when. Here's an old bike. Someone may have ridden to school on one of those days. The bell works. Works. Works, folks. Works. Here's the old blackboard. Schools of the past. Pretty cool. So this probably was a classroom at one point. You see the museum now. There's the blackboard. A few things here you would have found in the school. Of course, a bell. A bell. Some books. There's an old class photo in the back. Waterman's ink. Old little mini chalkboard. Yeah. Some old bottles here from an old general store. Old bottle relics. And some old artifacts and relics down here too. Wow. These old rulers. Old brushes. You better look in here. Look at that old clock right there. Here's an old Finley baseball shirt. The 1922 Finley workers team were club champions in the Carleton Place Town League. There's them right there. They like baseball. 1922. 1922. Yeah. Pretty cool checking out those old stoves and stuff. All the rage back then. All the rage. A few more things in here. The Carleton Place Canoe Club. Look at this old baseball mitt and glove. Wow, that is an old baseball glove. Belonged to Mr. Walter McLaughlin. McLaughlin? Very neat. Down here we got an old skate and a trophy. The old hockey team. An old curling stone. This would have been worn by the school teacher back in the day. Worn by Dorothy Gardner Farrell, 1941. Must have been a teacher here. Look at this old tombstone. We got a tombstone in here. Sacred to the memory of William Davis, who departed this life January 27th, 1875 at aged 83. These old relics and artifacts. This is a cast iron boat cleat found in the Mississippi River near Gilley's Machine Works. The building. Machine Works building in 1975. That's interesting. Old Carleton Place Mills poster there. Some history of the grist mills. A lot of mills. Industry in Carleton Place began with the grist mill. That was the first mill site here in Carleton Place. There's quite a few though. There's a lot in Carleton Place. These are actual bricks from the first brickyard in Carleton Place. In the mid-1800s. Hardy Boys, Secret of the Old Mill. Charles McFarland, born in Carleton Place, 1902. His father, John Henry McFarland, was a local school principal. Family moved to Haileybury, Ontario in 1910, where Charles grew up. Stuff would have belonged to him. That old maple leaf butter there. Wow. His old lunch pail. This lunch box was used by Aaron McFarland when he worked for the CPR. His wife left that message on the inside to remind him how much she loved him. That's about gonna do it here today. From the dark and Deadly Grounds Cafe and the Carleton Place Museum. Thanks again, everybody. Please like, please subscribe. Gonna take my exit here. Oh, got one hand on the coffee here. Ooh, not easy to leave this place. Okay, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining me here at the Carleton Place Heritage Museum. They don't want me to leave, the door won't close. Thanks again, everybody. Please give it a big thumbs up. Please like, please subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe will let you know when a new episode goes up. Never know what you may be missing here on the Mr. Thrasha Show, and plenty more to come. Might hang out for a little while here in Carleton Place. Bask in some of the town history. Thanks again, everybody. Give it a big thumbs up. Check out some filming locations on the filming location playlist. Lots of roadside attractions. Follow me on Instagram. Or become a cult member of the Mr. Thrasha VIP cult. For only $5.99 a month. As museum season rolls on here on the Mr. Thrasha Show.